Did it come on?
Yeah.
Okay. Just leave it for a second. Let me double check too.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. And do you attend these by any chance?
Can you hear all right? Can you in the back? Okay, if you would take a second and make sure that your cell phone is turned off. I want to thank you all for coming to this event in the Department of English, Rhetoric, and Writing's reading series. Following the reading, we will have books for sale up front, and Professor Goldbarth will be happy to sign those for you. And in lieu of a formal Q&A, he'd be happy to answer any individual questions that you might have. If you have a cultural events slip that needs to be turned in, you can just leave it up here with us before you leave. I'm very honored now to introduce to you Albert Goldbarth. I almost mispronounced it.
Nice touch.
Yeah. Albert who? Albert Goldbarth. Distinguished Professor of Humanities in the Department of English at Wichita State University. He is the author of over 20 collections of poetry, a novel, and 4 books of essays. Twice the winner of the National Book Critics Circle Award. He has also been awarded a Guggenheim and 3 NEA fellowships, as well as the Penn Center West Award. Both excavation and collage, both associative and insistent, Albert Goldbarth's work displays perhaps the widest and wildest register of language and subject in contemporary American poetry, as he delves into all the disparate detritus of our lives. Any sampling of his poems' titles demonstrates this. For instance, these. Some common terms in Latin that are larger than our lives. Power of weirdness. Rembrandt/panties. Poem spoken by Plack at Scenic View. Problemata Aristotelis. And finally, you might notice blood in your urine for a couple of weeks, and scenes from the American Revolution. Described as a master mixer, a virtuoso, and American poetry's consummate showman, Goldbarth is both scholar and stand-up, weaving together astronomy, ancient history, autobiography, pop culture, and often within a single stanza. An Albert Goldbarth poem free ranges from the erudite to the simply weird, creating syllable by syllable, cell by cell, a skin of 1,000 wings, the universe of the poem. Entertaining, yes, but this is serious humor that keeps returning us to transience as the keynote of human experience. The mortality of the body, of culture, of marriage and love that somehow dissolves into distance. But for all their awareness of failings and disappointment, these poems are a celebration of the flux of the present, this very moment in which we breathe, collecting the past, speculating the future, silking the web of interconnections into the now, which is finally, as he writes, all we know. The rest is fog, is salt air eating up details. Generations pass. It's now. We're here. Hello. A poem is about to begin. Please welcome Albert Goldbarth.
Although you did promise you would refer to me as the Rick James of American poetry.
Sorry.
forget to turn your little cultural event slips on the stage, okay? Mindy, you too. Will you all just make yourselves comfortable? Everybody okay? And you can hear me? This is, it's a strange little effect up here.
It's all right.
But yeah, okay. I'll begin with this poem because it seems to be the kind of poem one begins with. I think of it as lively and friendly. Probably a little background. You wouldn't necessarily know, but I'm on something called the Georgia Poetry Circuit, which means I go around from school to school to school. I've done enough of this. I've spent enough time in little hotels and motels that were not of my choosing. You know how sometimes you're in a hotel room, it's like 2 in the morning, you're just dead tired, all you want to do is sleep, and on the other side of the wall, some couple starts to do something. You don't know if they're throttling one another to death, or if they're trying out the batteries on their new orgasmatron device. You know, but they're doing something there. And they just won't stop. 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, they won't stop. And finally, they almost stop being annoying, and they just seem to come to represent the illimitable bounty of the entire universe, sort of. That's a kind of idea that's behind this poem. Also, I probably should point this out because there's an epigraph that precedes the main body of the poem. I live in Wichita, Kansas at the moment. I have for a number of years now. There's a single daily newspaper in Wichita. You have a daily Roman paper or an area paper? Yeah, the Wichita Eagle is really known for 4 things. It's known for spelling errors. It's known for errors of fact. It's known for a kind of pathetically slavish devotion to the current Bush administration. And it's known for its weekly fashion column by Bonnie Bing, B-I-N-G. And the poem begins with an epigraph quoted from Bonnie Bing's weekly fashion column, in which she herself begins by quoting somebody who I'm sure is one of your favorite popular culture icons, as she is mine, Ivana Trump. So, in addition to reminding you that the starfish regenerates its parts, its arms particularly if they're broken off, and reminding you that an avatar, A-V-A-T-A-R, is the physical embodiment of a spiritual being. I am now reminding you that this poem, which is called In One Night, begins with this epigraph which quotes Bonnie Bing, who herself quotes Ivana Trump. Then Bonnie Bing makes a very astute comment upon Ivana Trump's statement, and then my poem begins. So, Ivana Trump says, and I quote Bonnie Bing now, who's quoting Ivana, "I go there for 2 hours, and I buy 2,000 of the black, 2,000 of the beige, 2,000 of the white, and I ship them around between the homes and the boat, and that's the end of it for maybe half a year when I have to do it all over again." To which Bonnie Bing says, not unsurprisingly, "Let's see, that's 12,000 bras a year. How does a woman wear 1,000 bras in 1 month?" In one night. They're going at it, whoever they are on the other side of a hotel room's slim wall, and whatever it is. Well, it could be love. It could be something glandular we call love, as the beers sink into their lowest stale inch. It could be hate, fed by content. The only clear thing is they're throwing it off. They're radiating whatever it is across the room in great eruptive flingings of themselves, the way the sun gives out tremendous gouts of sun without diminishing its sun. And so I hear, as she unhooks her bra, her honky-tonkish bra, there! Immediately after that, her Virgin of Guadalupe bra. Does he duck? Does he catch it and lift each cup with its crosses of stars and doves and bloody lilies to his lips? And then her bra of mink and fish hooks, and the Einstein bra, the meatloaf bra, and his bra, the one that's sewn of pubic hair and twine, the bra that squeals as it's torn off, and the silent one composed of knees. See? Here. The German opera bra. The bra of the six-armed Shiva. Does she bat them back? Does she snatch them in her teeth? The bra of becoming. The bra of having been. The bra of Dante's Inferno. Also the bra of the good time fly high bang bang fuck fuck game. The abstemious bra of nettles. Oh yeah? Look! The human body replaces its cells with quiet certainty. We're slower than the starfish, but more bountiful in the long run. Of the human psyche, it's longer than from here to the end of a light wave. Of the human heart, it's longer than any idea we can have of it. There will never be adequate avatars. The bra of the dancing fires of Vesuvius. The bra of cool glacial cakes of ice brought into town to chill the soup. The bra of his pouts, his moods, his war bra with the bullet clips, the cyber bra, the geisha bra, the verdigreed Statue of Liberty bra, the bra of chains, the bra of the Hun, of hot wax, of eternity. Even in sleep, these two continue their unlimited exfoliating. Why not? Dream is even more bra-rich than waking life. in my sleep, too, in yours, in the lingerie clerks, the bra of defeat, the bra of drums and whooping it up, the Dow Jones bra, the meta bra, the bra dreams of, the bra of neutrinos, the bra of the beast. Bye. Don't forget to turn in your slips. Catch you later. I've read the poem every now and then. Sometimes some people, you may find this hard to believe, but come back to a second reading of mine and have come up to me and said, are you going to read the bra poem again? And the first few times that's happened, I have no idea what they meant. To me, this is not the bra poem. This is the poem about the unperimetered, unboundary bountifulness of the entire cosmos. So I just want to say, will people finally learn the distinction between subject and theme? Thank you. This poem's a little different in tone. It's in 8 sections, small numbered sections. And most of you look so young. So you may not remember that it was just a really finger snap ago in cultural time that the 1-800 number that forms the title of this poem was everywhere. The organization behind this 1-800 is probably now subsumed onto the internet. You don't see it around anymore in TV ads much, billboards, but it used to be everywhere. And some of you who are a little older will know, I think immediately what I mean when I say it used to be particularly on milk cartons and would be facing you at the breakfast table every morning. In any case, the 1-800 number is the title of the poem, and the organization behind that number is the subtitle of the poem, and after that, the poem itself begins. Call 1-800 The Lost, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. 1. And whenever we see a flower that's red, a rose, let's say, it isn't red. The red is the light that's rejected. And these 1-800 children, aren't they the light that gets absorbed? The light that's never seen again. 2. And some disappeared like a sweet word into the midst of a hellish sentence. Some left willingly, even gleefully at the start, and some still bear the track of the rope in their minds where it sank to after its first and raw appearance on their skin. And some have vanished, leaving not one smear of spoor or an echo, maybe just a scrawl of salt dried onto a sheet. And some have left behind entire rooms intact with the pennants and the diaries, the posters over the bed, a fossil as large as certain mastodons preserved in ice, so that a paleontologist could step inside and be surrounded by images of life, but no life. Three, someone came up to them. Look, here's a flower. Someone came up to them. There's a phone call for you. Come with me. Such simple things. They're never seen again. Someone who looks like anyone else. That's why. 4. What do you say to a number like that? Hello, I've been to a black hole and I've brought back news of light for you. Hello, I've seen your daughter on a movie screen with 3 men and a plastic device. Your son is made to do things on his knees. Do you want to know his new name? Hello, your missing child rules a kingdom of her own now, and she spits whenever you're mentioned. This, you see it here in my hand, is from the petrified digestive tract of a mastodon. It's all I could retrieve for you, a clue. So I dialed this number. 5. And some, and altogether it was many thousands, went to fight the infidel. They left their homes for Christ and joined the pilgrim trails. And some were slaughtered in caves as food. And some just died of bleeding after anal rape. And some were sold to the Saracens. They were bundled in rope like barter goods. And some met Shelby Linstner, where they hitchhiked off Route 29, and he gave them a lift. And he also had rope, and a hunting knife in a leather sheath, and an eyeless leather hood that once the prosecution asked him to affix around a mannequin's head exactly as he'd done with Lady Endicott and Danny Roselle. 6. Although the amazing Kiki, no last name, really did run away to join the circus, just like in some book. This was, she said, in 1923, when I was mostly 6. In 1985, she said, I never looked back once. For near on 50 years, I made a living flying in a dress of gold. Flying. Gold. Can you say that? 7. Hello. I've seen a nail of smoke I think might fit in the hole in your heart that you've carried around for the last 2 years. Hello? Hello? A light that was eaten completely by a moment of pain. I saw it. or I think I saw it yesterday hanging out in the sky above Russell Street and 23rd. Is that what you say to this number? Is that tiny breath of hope supposed to bloom like a rose in a pot of the dark, dark soil inside of a telephone? Eight. And some will return. Some do, after all, return. In the traditional Indian rope trick, once the boy has shinnied up so high he can't be seen, his body parts rain down upon the crowd, the arms, and then the legs. And after the horror is fully perceived, he slides down whole and smiling. Even the mastodon, they're talking about genetic samples and cloning. Also the news report about Elonzo Gables, 4, who disappeared into a blue or gray or jade green van and wasn't seen again until 3 days had passed and someone found him wandering around the lot at Shop for More, unharmed. His mother wants to thank whoever took her boy but changed their minds. She's crying and laughing simultaneously. She points at him in the everyday sun of the afternoon. Look, the camera looks. He's sitting there in the gravel, in the miraculous gravel. He's sitting in the miraculous, everyday afternoon light. Although I'll read just one more poem, it does have some length to it. It's in 3 longish parts, so I'm thinking if you need to like, move your bodies and get blood flowing, or have a sort of Guinness World Book of Records coughing fits, or leave the room, there goes your extra credit card. This would be the time to do it. Or have the reader take a sip of water. Okay. I was kidding about leaving the room, actually. Count up to 10 if you want to leave. That's the opportunity now. What do you about doing that 10? And it's well to be here. I'll set the scene for you here. Let's say it's the middle of the day. So how am I looking? Okay. Middle of the day. Middle of the country, middle-class neighborhood, and a bunch of middle-aged people are standing around in the middle of a deck or a patio, and facing up, looking at them, sort of scattered around on chairs and on the ground, on tabletops, are the open pages of their own high school yearbooks from 20 years before. It's a high school reunion, an ugly scene I've just painted for you, I know. Imagine it's even uglier. You're there not because it's your high school graduating class, but your spouses. Anybody in the audience around my age has ever been to a high school reunion? You understand. God often might come close. So that's the background here. I might want to point out ahead of time that when I say the word pause eventually toward the end of the second section, it's P-A-W-S, not P-A-U-S-E. Among a number of other vocabulary words, krill and paramecia, you probably know are microscopically small creatures. And perhaps I should point out that while I don't pretend my poems should be taken as autobiography, it's true that my wife's name is Skyler, S-K-Y-L-E-R, since it's not a very gender-specific name, I sometimes point that out ahead of time to avoid any confusion. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay, we all on the same page, so to speak. So when I'm done with this, then the reading will be over. You can, just applaud your little heads off, or, get out your Vicks and light them. Get the mosh pit ready. This is called Poet, Spouse, Observer Thoughts. 1. The saddest face I've ever seen. I mean, from no immediate occasion, just a thin and continuous underbuzz of ill content, is Sammy Shores. In all 4 of the high school yearbooks scattered on the tables at the 30th year reunion of the class of 1972 of Argonia High in Argonia, Kansas. Sight, it seems, of hijinks worth Homeric recitation, and home to the dread Red Raiders. Sammy Shores, not here this night, with my wife, the guru of junior college web design, and the other Argonia High escapees, the dentist, the trucker, the nurse on the cardiac ward. I meet them all. And yet, it's Sammy Shores, way white and restless, skimpy shrivel of a face, so fully miserable among those half-assed smiles, that acts, at least for me, as symbol, strewn about this beery, low-key joviality. Wherever Sammy Shore went and is, he's also here, in the moon whose punched-in face appears increasingly clearly in the pool as evening gathers. And he's here in the awkward silences between the faces of 1972 and these, their own implausibly misshaped adult counterparts. Our yearning for eternity and the drizzle of mortality for a moment they uneasily coexist here in the barbecue line, the way they do in that famous gaffe from Johnny Logan, shortstop and sportscaster, when he received an award. I will perish this forever. Those are poet spouse, observer thoughts. And yet, for the reunionees, it's all about the nitty-gritty catch-up. Pat, whose daughter has Tourette's, but not the kind where they bark and say cocksucker. Elroy Webb, who worked the lumber store, and then the plumbing store, and then the dry goods. Anne. Remember Anne? Who, even though she was happily married, ran off with an undertaker. Two. My friend Lisa in the hospital, I visit her on the following day. Her amniotic fluids started leaking, and the IV feed of some thick space-age wonder water meant to still her premature contractions also tends to still her lungs. It's not a good time here amid the vase, the azaleas, and the standard issue Sisters of Innocence pewter Christ on the wall. And so I really misuse Sammy Shore for easy levity. Once the teacher left the room and he immediately pulled his penis out and started masturbating right in class, ensuing gasps and hubbub. Skylar couldn't see from where she sat, and when she asked her squirming roommate Tyler what was happening, that shy and forthright guy could only think to say, well, Sammy Shores let his horse out of the barn, and he's taking it for a gallop. That's hilarious and sad. And so I add, by way of tempering the latter, a summation of the moment when we left the party earlier than most. And I requested, well, why not? A group performance of the Red Raiders fight song. What came next? The fight song, and the cheer team song, and the rest for another 30 heartfelt mega-decibel minutes was the evening's whole cross-temporal experience condensed. These off-key, choral, 47-year-olds morphing in and out of kids whose fists and zits and dreams and hormones and hiked high skirts and sheer oomphed up raw spirits rocked the Pep Squad bus once in between Argonia and East Temple County into a ditch. And one's not here tonight because It's noon for her in Paris, where she's spending all the money from her she runway heyday as a paparazzi favorite. One's not here because the cancer ate her down to a single throwaway bone a decade ago already. Bye to Lisa. And on my way out, there's that room of sweetly incubating preemies, row on row. One doesn't say it to the parents, but these bundles of joy are dice in a crapshoot over the length of lifetimes. That night, Skylar's already asleep when I get into bed. So still, I need to check, and for a second, place my fingers underneath the slow and gentle drumming of the pause of breath that power her nocturnal engine flawlessly into the dawn. Three. A favorite story. Skylar was having her hair done in some courantish coif, and her beautician, Latina, asked her, since a potentially special occasion was implied, what she was doing that night. Oh, Skylar said, my husband's giving a reading. Latina stopped mid-curl, a look of sudden comprehension washing in delight across her face. I didn't know, she said, and nearly couldn't continue from the excitement and from the worlds that lavishly opened up in front of her at this news. Your husband's a psychic. Yes, I am. And I can tell you this. We're all going to sing. We're all going to meet in what our language used to call the gloaming, as the stars start to appear like some extreme dimensional musical notation, and the fireflies begin to smear their love calls on the surface of the dark, and we're going to sing then, crow and cockadoodle and chant our fucking heads off, loud and scratchy voiced and showily and shamelessly alive. We're going to yell the hell and back campaigning fight songs of the armies of the world, as well as of the territorial jousts of Krill and Paramecia. We're going to give the rousingest rendition of the cheer songs and the pep songs of the tides of Earth and the gases of Saturn's rings. The night is nigh You heard me nigh. And there's no barbershop quartet or nasty gangsta rap beyond our voices striving. We're going to yodel and hip-hop and do-si-dodle and sing our souls like bloomed heat up a flue. We're going to melodize and croon, to shrill our enemies' names and lullaby our honeys. We're going to schnoodle and canoodle and do the hokey pokey and eensy teensy spider in a thrice. I tell you, we're going to sing this human song until it's our turn to answer the door and straighten our clothes and nod yes, and with one last whoop and one look back, run off with the undertaker.